Hi, this is Tim Queen, and today I'm going to talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for 2019. You have to understand why are you optimizing your profile and for whom are you optimizing your profile for. There is many different motivations that you might have. For example, you might want to find a job if you're like out of job, or you might want to make a career move, or you might want to switch industries, or you might, if you're like a B2B company, you might want to find customers. You might also be like a single consultant, so you want to find like different corporate consultants with different role titles. So it's really important to understand who are you trying to reach, and this is for whom you're optimizing your profile for. So there's many different elements that you want to optimize. Let's start with some of the most obvious ones which are really standing out. This is your profile picture and your name and your headline. So the profile picture really will be anywhere you go. If you're participating in the LinkedIn group, if you are posting some content, it will be on your profile. This is one of the first things people are looking for. And if you're writing a comment, there will be your profile picture. So this one has to be really good, and I really highly recommend you get professional headshot photographer to take a picture that conveys competence, authority and likability. Because you can't have one, you have to have all three of them. You can't just be likable and people think, oh, you're such a nice person, but they don't respect you. But you can't just be like the person which is like super tough, and then people are like scared of you and like they respect you, but they don't want to work with you because they are scared or they don't trust you. So you have to have all three of them to really make a good impression in whatever scenario. Then your name tag, and that's usually your personal name, but you could also think about adding, for example, like one of the titles at the back of your last name. This is a little hack. You can go into your last name field and add some comma, and then you put like a little title in there if you want to really pop out with your name. And then the last thing is the LinkedIn headline, and this is probably your most important asset of all things when how you want to optimize your profile. You can use that in so many different ways, and I created an entire article with over 50 plus LinkedIn headline formulas for you to find out like which one would work for you. If you're like a job seeker, if you're like a professional, if you want to build your career, if you're like a student looking for like an internship, this is the document you want to check out to go into more details. So those are the three most important parts of your profile. Those parts will mostly decide like 80 to 90% if someone is willing to click onto your profile. And now the next part on your profile. You want to make sure that your description is really detailed and clear, and make sure that you put the most important information on the first 3 lines of text, because this will be the text that people see in a description and they have to see the entire text, they have to click on more. So the first 2 to 3 lines have to tease enough content or enough so people actually click the read more button. Then you want to make sure that you explain who you are. You want to explain the value proposition that you are bringing to the table. And you want to explain the process, how people can contact you and how you can work with them. This can be additional resources. You might put them a link into one of your websites where the process is explained in more detail. You might explain exactly what you want to be contacted for. Of course, not everyone is going to read it, but the people who are, it makes it much more better, easier to qualify someone, to make sure that they follow the right procedures, so you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again, at least to a minimal amount of time. So then down below in your LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure that your experience section is creating a coherent story for the person you're trying to reach. As an example, let's say it's a completely stupid example, but you're going to get the point. Let's say you were delivering pizzas when you were like 16, and now you want to get a job in banking. Do you really have to list your pizza delivery activity in your LinkedIn profile? No, because this is completely unrelated to what you want to do. You want to make a career in banking, so don't list out some irrelevant, stupid stuff that you did like 20 years ago. So just restructure your experience section to make a coherent story. On the other hand, let's say you are like the restaurant owner and you want to open another franchise, you want to get into become a franchisee for Pizza Hut. In that scenario, you might keep in the story because it's a coherent story. You always liked pizza, like you were working in pizza during your school time, then maybe in university time you also worked in different pizza, like in some mid-level restaurant management functionality. So in that case, it's a coherent story for that particular position you're trying to reach. So what can you do? You can basically, you can look at each of your experience section and try to look through the eyes of someone who would hire a person that you want to become. So and then try to give them the information, the experiences from that particular position that would be most relevant. And there's 1,000 ways how you can look at each and everything you have done in your life. You just have to look through the eyes of someone you want to reach, and then try to look through their eyes what other million things you have done in this particular job. What are the 5 things that are most important to them, that show that you are the right person to do the job? And then rewrite your experience section to reflect that. You're almost writing for the next thing you're trying to build, the next step where you want to go. If you want to find customers, write from the eyes of the customer. What makes the customer have more trust in you, more perceive you as more authoritative? What do they have to see? What are the 5 details of the millions things that you have done in this particular job role that highlight this, that give them more confidence? This is really easy. Same is true for university, especially if you're a student, you want to highlight more stuff in your university degree. Think about what would the company who is hiring a fresh graduate, what do they care about most? What did you study? What were your minors? Did you have a certain degree in a certain area, extracurricular activities? Try to highlight the things that would be most relevant to the person hiring. And if you're a student and you don't know this, try talking to someone who is already in this industry and ask them what is most important, and they can exactly tell you what you can highlight in your profile that makes someone make a decision between yay or nay. And then the section down below, you can add different experiences, and you have to really be careful that you pick some of those keywords you want to be ranked for in the future, because it takes time. There is only a small number of people actively endorsing you for skills, so you want to make sure, and they usually only endorse the first top 3 ones. You might want to make sure that the most important ones you want to be endorsed for are in the top 3 positions. And one of the best ways how you can get more people to endorse you is by actually endorsing other people first. They often return the favor, but you have to be sure that you are picking the keywords carefully, because let's say you picked 10 keywords, and then over time you're getting 10, 20, 30 recommendations for your keywords, and then you decide, yeah, those weren't really good keywords, were they? And then you remove them, you lose all the 10, 20 votes. But now you have to go back and you have to annoy the same 20 people who gave you a recommendation in the first place. They're yeah guys, sorry, I didn't like the keywords. Can you endorse me for my new keywords? Now, you're asking them for a lot to go back and do all the work again. So that's annoying. So you want to make sure that you really put a lot of thought into the keywords that you want to be recommended for. And one of the best ways that I can tell you how to pick those keywords, think 2 or 3 steps ahead. What will be the skills that you will have in 2 or 3 steps up the career ladder? What are really the things that build your authority to a level that if you have walked up 2 or 3 steps the career ladder, what are the skills that count then? Focus on them, put them at the top, build them up, build up your education, and really get people to endorse you for those skills. Always think ahead. You don't want to be endorsed for skills that you have right now. You want to be endorsed for skills that you are currently learning and building up for the next step. And then there is a lot of other sections in your profile that you don't really need. You have like maybe groups you like joined in, pages you liked, interests. So you can focus on those, but the truth is most people don't even read that far. Most people just read the profile picture. They look at like, do you have like a nice cover picture, and you put something really that is highlighting your likability, authority, and this at the top. They look at your profile picture, at your name, at your headline, and at your description. And if they're like slightly interested, they will scroll through your experience section and maybe at your education section, and that's it. So those are really the sections that you want to focus on. So if you want to know, if you don't have an idea if your profile is optimized or is it doing really well, you have no idea what to do, how to get started, I actually create like a little tool that will help you to answer just that question. It's a quiz. It's like a LinkedIn optimization quiz. I put the link in the description, and you can follow along, answer the question, and it will tell you at the end, is your profile optimized? And it will give you like useful resources for optimizing those aspects that are currently missing in your profile, so you can work on those specifically. So make sure you check out the link in the description or in the first comment. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure that you hit the like button and that you turn on subscription and the little bell on, so you get an email notification the next time I'm uploading a new video.